Greetings, fellow adventurers. Welcome to another official session of our official campaign. When last we left our heroes, they were not in the best of spots. They survived barely an ordeal with a higher demon, a fallen angel. Their armors are broken, their minds as well. Well, everybody except Garvin. And yes, they are alive. Jametysta revived Garvin and Bolden, who were actually slain by the fallen angel. And our group is dysfunctional at the moment, to say the least. Our brave heroes have decided to try and relax for the time being and just kind of, pick up the pieces of their shattered sanity. They will take a respite for about an hour. They will try to eat, drink, and relax. And lo and behold, they will use their sacred destinies to automatically succeed in this action. You all gather around. You don't have to take any of your own rations because the fort is filled with both rations and ready meals. You were roaming a little bit and then you smelt that there is ready food here. You're a little bit away from the teleport where the main fighting was. Let's say you're sitting over here by this table. Aracult, you feel terrible, you feel ashamed. Like as you're eating, a thought goes through your mind. You remember that moment when the Sacralis first appeared above Bolden's head, right? And you remember moments after that, how you knelt before Bolden and you pledged your life to his service and his protection. And when the time came for you to stay true to your word, you forsook your brother. So you feel terrible. Bolden, the same thought goes through your mind, but only from your perspective, right? I will not say anything more.
An elf left me behind.
I will say nothing more. I think it's enough.
But the orc didn't.
Exactly. Garvin tried to fight. Garvin, you were actually the only one that's feeling relatively okay. You succeeded your stress test. You overcome the shattering mind effect that the creature had on you. You are puzzled because you, by now, would expect your companions to be able to overcome such difficulties as you are, right? So you're kind of you're kind of on the sides a little bit, right? You're unsure. Why can't they achieve something that seems so easy to you? Although, let's be honest, it's not easy, but I'm just saying it from the point of your character, right? And the Jametysta, the wielder of the banner. The banner that belongs to the Archangel of Hope. And yet, so many times...
Wait, is this the GM speaking or Baal speaking?
No, this is the GM
Yes.
I know, because...
Oh, no, this is the GM speaking. You are also puzzled. You're unsure how it came to this. It feels almost as if you either did something wrong or you are being punished for something, which you're right. You can't put your finger to it, but everything somehow feels strange. Moments before you felt graced, and now you feel shunned. Right, when you were speaking to Uriel, seeing your former companions, that was a moment of grace. You were grateful for whatever was happening, and now you just feel shunned, like you're looking at your companions. Like Bolden and Garvin are basically half naked. Their armor is completely destroyed. You can see on Aracul's face like remorse and regret, and then he can barely look Bolden in the eyes. Right, and you're like, why is this?
Yeah, here I felt brave. I thought I'm gonna destroy the portal. Everything's gonna go smoothly. I'm just this powerful, and actually I'm not at all. And the Sacralis is gone, and so many chances, and I'm just very puzzled. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that's the intro, right? You kind of understand where your characters are currently coming from. So take it away.
Do we even want to talk?
Is there alcohol?
Actually, yeah, there's like a shit ton of wine right in front of you. There's wine in the goblets. There's wine in the pitcher, and there's ale in those two big jugs.
There is only one thing that can help the situation right now.
Orlos would be proud.
So, am I drunk? Or do you want me to...
Well, how much do you drink?
I was hopeless, right? I drank, empty stare in the distance, and just drinking ale, but like 3/4 of an ale is just dripping down my beard on my broken armor and chest,
And the fact that Aracalt is not nagging you about it, it's present here. I'm not saying anything.
Let's say you're tipsy. After an hour, you won't be combat ready. Let's just put it that way.
I am gonna have a glass of wine.
Even though I regained my sanity, I am still in the hopeless mode.
Jamie, while you are sipping your glass of wine, I'll be like, take another glass and just slowly move it, like, I won't say a word, just like put it here and waiting for you to pour me in.
Okay, I'm gonna pour you a glass as well.
I have come to a conclusion. We have been pretty much given another chance. We did not completely fail in our mission yet. There is still hope. We can still do this and help our friends. We are still alive, aren't we?
Garvin, Destiny Point. You're all kind of looking at Garvin, right? And you're amazed. Like this, the words that are coming from his mouth is something that you would expect from maybe Baal or Oracle, members of your class here, right?
All of this right now here is like, he's talking, I can hear him, I'm thinking, right? I kind of stand up, right? I take off all the armor pieces from me, right? And I just like toss them away.
Wait, you have any?
Well, yeah, the braces and the one boot that was still on him.
Yes, I do, and I take everything
like
off,
this,
right?
taking off my armor.
I just throw everything away, right? And I'm gonna throw my mace away as well if I ever found it. Or I'm just throwing everything weapon or armor related off me, right? I'm like, just walk by wherever, and I'm gonna go into a deep state of meditational prayer.
You go back to the place where you fought the demon, right?
Yes.
You're going over there and you look at the ground as you're walking and you see the shattered pieces of the shield heirloom given to you by the dwarves. And you're like silently mutter, in your beard a curse, right?
I'm gonna go soul searching.
Okay.
I'm going in prayer meditation mode. I don't plan to come back for as long as they don't search for me.
Okay.
Or minimum of 6 to 8 hours.
Okay.
So did the hour passed while we were
Yes,
eating?
the hour passed.
Okay.
You see after an hour that Bolin just, doing what he said, picking himself up and going away. You're gonna, leave him to it, give him some space.
Yep. Guys, so there is still this one place we haven't searched. Maybe it has some armor, and as you can see, we kinda need it.
I stand up and slowly start walking, and I turn around. You coming?
I'm gonna pour myself another glass, I'm gonna hold it, and I'm gonna start going then.
Okay, you three then decide to go, I'm guessing here, right?
Exploring the tower proves fruitful for our adventurers, as they discover not only armor but coin, virtual components, a particular artifact, as well as extremely valuable information.
You enter the main area. It takes you about 15 minutes to search the area. You find again some ready-made meals that are cold now. You do find 2 jugs of wine, a pitcher of wine, some meat stew. Yes, you can. You find 45 Nozmer gold pieces around the place. You gather about 20 rations. You go upstairs. You do find weapons, and you find armor sets which you can actually use. You found a chest, right? That's actually right next to you.
Okay.
And inside the chest, you found another 100 pieces of Nozmer coin. You found 2 rubies and a diamond. You also found 20 gold pieces worth of silver powder, and you found about 50 gold pieces worth of refined Ezreum, so ready to be used for rituals.
Okay, I go upstairs.
As you're going there, Arakel, as you're
Yes.
moving there, right? On this table here, you see something rather interesting. You see manuscripts, various manuscripts over there, written in Dwarven, and then
I can read it.
yes, and then crossed over and written other marks and remarks on the language that the Nozmer Empire uses. You know a bit of it, right? You gather the tomes with you, and just glancing at them, I don't know if you want to do it properly, but just glancing at them, you can see that the tomes, most of them that are located here, have to do deal with siege weaponry, right? And the Nozmer remarks written over the tomes are they're kind of remarks and tips about how to improve their own siege weaponry using Dwarven technology.
Okay, I'll gather the tomes and.
Okay, there's
Even theirs.
No, you don't understand. They use Dwarven tomes and written on top of them, right?
Okay.
So Bolan would say they desecrated the tomes.
Yeah.
Bolan is gonna get some more urge to purge now. When he sees this.
Anyways, there's a total of 3 tomes there and 1 scroll, right? The scroll details some type of siege weapon that is unknown to you but looks very massive and very nasty. Okay, you go outside, you see a functioning ballista over there. Okay, now you see something very, very
Map
interesting.
of the island.
Map of the Nozmer invasion.
Oh yes, you see, exactly. You see the map, not just of the island, but of the surrounding continents as well. And by looking at this, let's say it takes you about 10 minutes, just to look at this and kind of gather what's represented here and what's going on. You can see the forces that Nozmer control, the Nozmer Empire, and you can see that most of their forces have actually been delegated towards conquering this island.
Interesting.
Strategic point.
Yeah, there's some more alcohol and food over there, as well as some luxury goods. There are more weapons and armor here. The chests are empty.
Even this golden one.
By looking at the chest, it's clearly very different than from the rest of the chests. And you imagine that something of great importance was once inside, but it is not anymore. Garvin enters the room here, right in front of you, Garvin, on the chest over here. You see the shiny.
I take the shiny.
The shiny. The shiny is back.
You take the shiny. You open the chest and you find various books and scrolls inside the chest.
Okay, I rip a piece of cloth of this bed and give it to Garvin so he can just put that ball
envelop the shiny with the clothing. You find over here tomes and books. You go through these books and you realize that these are various Nozmer reports. Arakel, you are able to discern some of it and read some of it. It takes you about, let's say, 40 minutes to go through all of them. From the reports, you discern that the Nozmer have identified a certain Dwarven sorcerer as the key figure that is preventing them from taking Hammerdeep. That's what the reports say. You also discern from the reports that 5 months have passed on the material realm.
Oh
boy.
You also discern, you're not sure how relatively fresh the reports are, but you can read that Hammerdeep still stands. Apparently, what is more interesting, the Dwarven sorcerer cast, now this is what the reports say, cast an unknown ritual that is consistently providing food for the defenders of Hammerdeep.
What?
Which has fucked up their intentions and their entire plan of starving the whole area. Right?
What?
They have already tried assassinating the dwarven sorcerer 3 times, but have failed. Despite having, which clearly says in the reports, sorcerers of their own, which are constantly spying on Hammerdip with magical eyes spells. So something insane is happening over there.
I think Barton got some magical abilities.
It would seem that the special military operation that was supposed to last only 3 days didn't go as planned.
Well,
It reminds me of something that happened.
Who would have thought? Okay.
a Slava Hammerdip. That's gonna be cut out, isn't it?
We'll see.
Our brave heroes find nothing else of interest in the tower. They go out, but before going to Bolin, they decide to inspect the base of the tower. Something felt off to Jametysta, drawing her there. While inspecting the base of the tower, she realizes that it is affected by a simple illusion ritual. She easily dispels this ritual, revealing strange runes written with dried blood, in a language unknown to her or her companions.
I will, in my journal, I'll just take a new page and just try to
Copy the
utmost detail,
runes.
copy the runes.
Okay, interesting article. Interesting. You copied the runes, that's gonna be a destiny token for you, before Garvan and Jametysta scrape them off then.
Jametysta casts the Identify spell on the runes and overcharges it to see visions of the past pertaining to the runes. Shortly afterwards, she comes out from a trance induced by the spell and almost falls to the ground. Arakald helps stabilize her.
Well, that was something else, guys.
Yes, you're holding, Darakald, you're holding Jametysta. She almost fainted after exiting the spell. You know this from your knowledge, and Jametysta as well, that overusing the specific overcharge option of this spell can be problematic for one's sanity.
The Nozmer leader, he performed some ritual. Obviously the innocents were slain. But that's the thing, he got into some trance, but it wasn't demonic. It's like something possessed his hands, and he was writing it. There were 4 sorceresses around him, and he said some words. It was, maybe you can know that, but I couldn't understand it, what he said.
Can you repeat it?
Jametysta repeats the words to you, Arakald. Obviously, it's not perfect, and your knowledge is lacking, but from what she says, you can discern the words beacon, strengthen, and power. Those 3.
It wasn't demonic, so there's something else happening. Okay.
But this is troubling indeed. We shall bring these runes back to Barton.
Let's
maybe
go
kill him.
find Bolin and see how he's holding up. Maybe the knowledge you got from the books and everything might give him a little bit of hope back.
Yes, you're right. But let me talk to him.
You go here. You saw the general direction where he went, right? So you kind of followed in there and you found him here.
Garvan, leave me alone to talk to him. I'll have to do this.
Go away.
Yeah.
While I was
Go away, Garvan.
praying, meditating for those 3 hours, one of those hours was to regain some resource points as well.
So proper meditation. Okay, give me a resolution die then. Arakald, you approach Bolin. You can see that he is deep in prayer and meditation.
And I am in my pants and torn shirt.
Yeah.
Bare feet.
Let's say you took the shards of the shield and you kind of positioned them in front of you.
Yes, I assembled it as best as I could.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
I come here, I sit as well, and I took my sword and put it next to the shield. Well, what's left of it, anyways. And I'll just put... first of all, I'm just hesitant for like 20 seconds, just looking at you and looking at the shield. And after those 20 to 30 seconds, I just put my hand on your shoulder. And just shake you a little bit.
I like, just come out of my tranquility and nirvana. And I just take a look and I see it's you, right? And you can see it in my face like, it's you.
Yeah, expected.
And I just turn my head again, and I just close my eyes again.
It's fine. Brother Bullen, we have some news. We have found out that Barton is alive, and the tenants of Hammerdeep are alive. And
And
that,
as you said that the tenants of the Hammerdeep are alive, you see, I opened my eyes, right? But I'm still not saying anything. I'm staring at the distance.
yeah, I'm staring at the distance as well. I'm just continuing speaking. Also, from what I have been able to discern, 5 months have passed since we have been in the demonic realm. Also, I think you may be interested in this. Barton has been able to conjure some kind of a ritual that is able to provide the food for the denizens of Hammerdeep. You and I, and Jametysta as well, both know that this is not possible. There is no such spell or ritual.
As he says that, right, I just really calmly stand up. I take my ripped shirt, whatever is left of it, right? I put it on the ground, and I start putting the pieces of the broken shield in it, kind of like just to tie everything together, you know?
Although it would be more effective to put it in your backpack, but fine.
No, I have no backpack. It's dead with the rest. I literally have on myself a torn shirt, pants, and that's it, right? Nothing else. I just look at Oracle and I say, let's go.
Before we go, Bullen, I think we need to talk about something.
Talk about what?
Our encounter with the fallen angel.
What about it?
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but I have failed.
We all failed.
Well, I have failed more, and you know what I'm talking about.
We all failed.
Brother.
We will make it right. Now it's time to go to Hammerdeep. And I start walking.
I just when he walks away, I'm like, take a deep breath, exhale, look up in the sky, utter a small prayer, and repeat what he just said. We'll make it right. Praise be the one. And stand up and walk behind him.
Although Bolden is adamant about going to Hammerdeep, the rest of the group managed to persuade him that it would be more prudent, especially in their current condition, to go to Rezax. With a heavy heart, Bolden agrees, and thus our adventurers start walking towards Rezax. The trip to Rezax was uneventful up until our adventurers reached the town itself. On the night before reaching Rezax, while Oracle was standing watch during the night, he managed to hear someone sneaking around their small camp.
I say, show yourself.
After a while, you hear the noise increasing, and I assume you have... do you have a lit campfire or not?
Yes.
Okay, the light from the campfire shines, and after a while, once the creature comes forward, you can see that it's multiple creatures. Actually, the goblins of the Voidbreakers.
Oh.
See? The one provides! We go straight back to Hammerdeep.
We'll recognize the certain goblin.
No, Webat is not there, but you recognize the rest of the goblins as well.
I say, Voidbreakers.
And they come to you, they know you. You know them and they know you. They come closer and you can see that most of their gear is torn and they look hungry.
When I see that, I beckon them even closer and I say, we have some spare food.
They tell you, thank you, Oracle. Thank you. Oh. And they sit down and you can see that they're exhausted. They eat like small babies eat without much control, you know.
Yeah, I'll wait for them to finish a meal at least, then I'll ask what the hell happened.
They're eating, and then some of them, you know, they ask you for something to drink as well. You have water skins.
Mm-hmm.
There was water in the camp, so I assume that you replenished any of the water skins. You also, Garvan brought beer with him as well.
Yes.
He has that one barrel with beer, yeah.
Okay, that barrel is somewhere near. Okay, I'll just take 3 glasses and give a little bit of beer to them.
You give them beer, okay. They take as soon as they drink it.
So lads, why are you in such a sorry state? What happened?
Oracle. Oh, bad mojo, Oracle. Bad mojo. Something no right. Keldren go cuckoo. No good.
What do you mean?
Oh boy.
What did he do?
He's angry all the time. He's fighting and he listen. He listened to the bad dragon. You know the one the bad dragon. The one we save. Keldren, he no friend of goblin. No.
What do you mean? I thought he helped you way back when. Did you consider him a...
Keldren, Shumin, no more. Keldren, no goblin friend.
Why? What did he do?
They shrug at the why part, but at the what did he do? He killed our goblin brother.
It doesn't sound like Kelvin at all. Is Verbat maybe with you?
Yeah, but no more.
He killed Verbat. What is that elf thinking? No, this is not right. When did he kill Verbat?
Many nights pass. Many. We hungry. Long time. Nowhere to go.
Makes no sense. Okay, when Kelran came back to Rezax, did he go back to Hammerdeep? He was supposed to bring the army back to Hammerdeep.
No.
What happened with that?
No, Keldren, he talked to Bad Dragon. And Keldren, no, Big Dragon. All follow Keldren.
Wait, what?
Keldren, King.
What? He took over Rezax by himself?
No. Dragon help him. Many dragon help him.
Yeah, but that does not explain why would he expel or even shun you. You are his brothers, as I understand. Oh, I need to wake Gar. Wait. And I go and wake Garvan up. Brother, come here.
I is it time already? Wait.
No. Wait. Don't wake them up. Come here. I found Voidbreaker goblins. Come outside now.
Garvan is puzzled.
Of course, it's the middle of the night. As you're going towards the goblins, they're like 5 meters away from you, right? So yeah. Garvan sees you. Garvan, yeah, you try to welcome the goblins, but you see the poor soddy state that they're in. They're
I go and hug
obviously
all of them
malnourished.
I hug all of them together. At once.
Okay, and I quickly just repeat what they said, so basically what you heard me talking now, you understand.
Wait a second. You want to tell me that my brother, my leader, is going insane?
No, brother of Goblin. No good. Keldren, big bad. Keldren, bad. And then some of them start crying. The cries wake up Orlos and Jametysta. You know how goblins are crying. Right, Orlos and Jametysta are woken up by the cries. The goblins, you go over there, obviously.
What the fuck is happening?
Looking what the hell, and you see Voidbreaker goblins, crying. Arakel and Garvan explain to Orlos and Jamie what they've heard from the goblins.
I knew it. I knew it from the first moment. From the first moment, I felt the need to revive him, bring him back, and he does this. He shall feel the full wrath of the One.
Before anything happens, we need to understand what's going on.
I will bring him to the gate where he will be judged.
Brother, if Kelran has done all of those atrocities that we now hear, he shall answer to the One and our swords. But until he has been proven guilty fully, and until we know the situation better, we shouldn't go there.
I do understand you have a great love for Uriel and brothers.
I have respect, but that's it.
There is only a few of them as fair as you are, my brother, and do not think there are many more.
Brother Bolan, there is foul play here.
Yes.
I can tell you for sure. I know Arakel longer than any of you, and he's not like this. He never was. There is something wrong.
Yes, his
He
greed
might even
for
be
power.
possessed.
His greed for power and influence has taken control of him.
You don't know that he was walking all by himself back to Razak's. And automatically you don't know whether Baal wasn't around or, some demons who he wasn't able to resist.
Also, one thing is certain, we did cause quite a stir up there. It is quite possible that somebody is impersonating Kelleran.
And he will be judged. Is what I'm saying.
But with all those informations, do we still want to go to Razak's?
Our brave heroes continue on discussing the information they got from the goblins. In the end, they decide that they will cautiously approach Razak's. Tomorrow morning, Garvin and Arakel head out, while Baal and Jametysta and the goblins stay behind. Upon reaching Razak's, Garvin and Arakel realize that the city is almost completely empty. Soon enough, they are spotted by a Draconic patrol who, unsurprisingly, charge at them, as Garvin had Nozmer equipment on him. Garvin and Arakel managed to defuse the situation before combat started, however, as Garvin still had his original papers with him, proving that he is a member of the Voidbreakers. Upon realizing this, the guards become very timid and apologize for almost striking the allies of Lord Kelleran. Garvin and Arakel excuse themselves and go back to Jametysta, Bolan, and the Voidbreaker goblins that waited outside the city. Bolan and Jametysta join their two companions, and soon enough, the four of them are exploring the city of Razak's. Much has changed since the last time they were in Razak's.
Alright, tell me exactly where are you going?
Okay, so we should first of all avoid the guard watchtower.
No, literally just move me the minis and I'll tell you what you see.
Let's start walking like this.
Surprise myself.
Once you get to the docks here, you see that there are some Dragonkin fishing. They seem like civilians. They seem like really, really old Dragonkin. Something that you wouldn't really want in an army, let's say. You move from this point, you move where exactly?
Yes, here.
Okay, so you went all up there. You can see some of the Dragonkin working around the warehouses and around the many crafting guild houses. Again, similar sights. Either children or very, very old Dragonkin.
Any human?
No.
Very strange.
Yes, Razak's had a small population of humans, traders from Lormar and those that decided to settle here. Okay, you're moving through the quarters, through the houses. Sorry, you reach this area. There is very little civilian population here, and what is left, similar sight. Older Dragonkin, females. Children.
So in other words, every capable man or young
so far is missing.
Adult is missing.
Yes.
So we would go all the way for now, like from here somewhere. Currently, do we notice anything?
In this area, as far as civilians go, it's the same site. You pass through a few patrols, very light, like 3 Dragonkin soldiers per patrol. No? Garvin just flashes his paperwork and they don't really ask much questions. As you're passing through that road, on the walls here, on the walls, on these walls here and these walls here, you have humans and Dragonkin nailed to the walls.
What?
There is something written in blood above each single one of them.
Oh!
What the hell?
Okay, Paul,
He's gone mad.
regret my decision now. We should have went to Hammerdeep.
We move further then, I guess. Like, the temple area. Let's go.
Oh, lovely! When you get there, right, on the sides of the temple, you see more humans, specifically. On X's, right? Wooden X's planted into the ground.
Wait, are they still alive?
No, Well, you're not sure, but from looking at there, the birds are picking at them, ravens and vultures.
I ask you guys, do we not want to know what happened to the temple?
I'm pretty sure right now that there is nobody in the dungeons. I think the dungeons are outside, on the walls.
Okay, I'm up for
I
checking out
think
the
we should
temple.
go. Yeah, and after that, I think we should go to the headquarters of the Voidbreakers.
Well, ex-headquarters now, probably.
Yeah, but we should check them at least.
What happened with his woman? Huh.
Exactly.
Isolde, you mean?
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe she is on one of the X's. Who knows?
Maybe she became an ex.
That's so morbid, man.
Come on, it was
Can
funny.
we go through this door?
Yes, you can go through the door. There are guards guarding it, but they let you in once Carven identifies himself. There are humans in front of the temple as well on axes. You can see on Draconic.
I check if any of them is alive.
No, above that there are wooden boards in the corner. One of them says liar. The other one says traitor. The other one says fornicator. Then the next one says unbeliever, and so on and so forth.
So
He's been
anyways,
judging them for sins, basically.
Yep.
What the hell? Okay, why are temple doors open? Oh my god.
I enter the temple.
Okay, Joseph, one thing.
The temple is completely desecrated and destroyed from within.
Okay, one thing. Do we feel something now? Baal and I
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I'm there, obviously. I mean,
Well, and you look in front, right, where the proud, unmasked from the illusions, stone tablets that said, here lie the remains of Saint Duranir, who walked in the presence of the One and lived, destroyed and shattered, crumbled to dust.
okay, someone's gonna die.
It wasn't the time to uncover it.
Yep.
I feel like guilty that all this mess happened because
No.
No.
It's possible that we have started something that we didn't control. If we have stayed here, maybe all of this wouldn't have happened. But one thing is certain out of everything here. Calran had dealings with aspirants.
Yes.
There is a possibility that all of this is their doing.
Very, very true.
Okay, we can't stay here for too long. Let's just
No.
What if they killed Calvin and are impersonating him?
Our heroes discuss these dreadful findings as they walk towards the Voidbreaker headquarters. While walking, they notice that all the inns, brothels, and similar establishments are closed. Finally, they reach the Voidbreaker headquarters and find that the front gates are closed. As there are no nearby patrols nor civilians on the street, Garvin climbs over the outer walls and opens the gates from the inside. Our adventurers step into the Voidbreaker base, dreadful of what they will find inside.
Here you see goblins on axes. Every single one has the same word, traitor.
Do we find whereabouts here?
Yes.
I kneel to the ground, and if his eyes are open or something, I close it.
No, they're closed. They're actually missing. They were picked by vultures.
I put my hand on his head and I utter a prayer for his soul.
Okay.
I go to the room at the top.
Jamie opens here underneath. You see blood everywhere in this room where you're at currently. And you see some guts and human remains. Okay, so the garden is up there. You go inside over there, you see Isolde nailed to a wall.
Is she alive?
No,
Probably not.
the same word, traitor.
I come to the body of Isolde, close eyes and utter a prayer.
Something is off with the body. Somebody who has a lore natural might discern what.
Can I just cast Crusader's Focus? I can overcharge it to see if the area was subject to supernatural occurrences. Bolan.
Now listen, this is also so fucking strange. But whatever here is happening, right? Whether it is it's himself or he's possessed by someone or somebody is impersonating him or whatever. This fact that Isolde is here and the goblins got killed kind of points at the direction of the people who are not really in favor of us. I do not think that this army that Kelleran has assembled and that the left, that they are a friend of ours. They might pretend to be, but I think they are a threat to Hammerdeep.
Yeah.
And at one stage, I was thinking, maybe these people who are on the crosses, and all of that, they might be the followers of the dragon kin culture, so they kind of got rid of them, and only those that support.
The change,
new way
yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
Yeah, they are. But in Zolde and the goblins obviously prove that not to be true.
Also, one more thing.
Followers of the one.
Yes,
You
yes. Also, one more thing. If something has started, if Isolde is killed here in this place, that means that maybe something here started because they were killed and all
I'm
this.
not saying. I'm just
I don't think
obviously.
it has. I don't think it's in any other location, because if he decided to do something here, then it had to be early. From the watching on the corpse is the how much of decompose
Lord
or
Nature.
etc. Not okay.
I am taking it down
Okay.
and covering it with covering her with
No, I
something.
mean, but this obviously sends a
I
statement,
need to.
right?
We need some
This
pieces.
is
Yes.
it's not something. It's not
She did
something
not deserve
that
this.
was made public. If he wanted to kill her publicly, he would nail her to the wall.
Yep.
She's here in her room, right? So it's
In
a
their room.
different.
in
yeah,
there.
well,
Yeah.
yeah. So it obviously it bears some sort of a significance.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well.
But I'm just saying that the source of it's obviously evil.
It might
It's
be
not
here.
something that we might consider our allies.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Okay, I'll do it. I'll try to see if
Oracle casts his spell, overcharges it to see any potential visions.
Oracle enters into a magical trance and has a vision that tells him what happened in this room and how Isolde met her end. The vision is gruesome, and Oracle vomits upon exiting the trance.
Tell me, what is it?
that was not Kilran.
That
That
much
was
forward.
no, whatever Kilran is now, it's not him. Basically, what I have seen is Isolde was asking him why, what's going on. It's not himself to do some things, and then out of nowhere, with inhuman strength, he grabs her hand, a nail on the where he found on the table, and literally without any tool stabs the nail right through her hand. Literally not possible without any kind of tools. Laughed hysterically. I managed to see the slight shimmer in his eyes. It gave it away that was not him. Isolde even recognized it's not him. And then he violated. Isolde was laughing maniacally. He killed her and violated the body again. You know what I mean by violated the body.
You guys,
It's not
remember
Kilran.
when I told you back then, some time ago, that the god of death told me that Calran is gonna help me save this island. I'm pretty sure that is what he is doing right now. I think whatever was holding, his power around me probably went to Calran once I got released.
I think that Kilran was way more involved with that kind of power even before you. If he managed to create you, gave you the Azri binding ritual, he had to do it with some kind of help or with some higher power. And that,
Okay,
I think he's involved with those.
I think we should.
You
search
do
for more
realize that he
information.
purposely avoided telling us about your Azri binding ritual.
Huh.
He was hiding something up behind that.
Our heroes are disgusted with the recent developments, but puzzled as well. They are missing something. They need more information. They rightly deduce that the High Curate, the one whose rescue they staged with the aspirant cultists, might have some of the answers they seek. They vow to return back and bury the fallen when there is more time, and quickly go towards the mansion of the High Curate.
On top of these two Dragonkin statues, you find the two other priests with the word traitor above them. So you actually knock on the doors, and lo and behold, after a while, the doors do open, and the High Curate opens them. And he's looking
How
at
does
you.
he look? How does
In-
he look?
Oh, I push him inside.
We went inside.
Okay,
Yeah,
he
and close
looks...
the doors behind.
Yeah, okay, you go inside, close the doors behind you, and he looks as the last time you saw him, as he... Oh, sorry, Golden.
You-
As he should.
He was
I mean, he looks decent. He's not in rags or.
Oh, no. He looks decent in his noble clothing with signets, necklaces, you know, the full spiel.
I'll go just check out in the rooms to see if there is anybody inside there. Just to be sure before you start talking to them.
Right, Garvan, I assume you push yourself inside and then push him on the floor and just cover his mouth. Oracle, you quickly run around.
Inspect the area.
You don't really have that much time to inspect everything unless you want Garvan to try and hold him for about 15 minutes.
No, just the
It's a
bottom
large
floor
mansion.
here.
The bottom floor,
Bottom
okay.
floor.
You quickly inspect the bottom floor and find nobody inside.
Okay, I come to the priest, not if there is anybody else inside.
The priest looks at you.
Not affirmatively if there is anybody inside.
He doesn't do anything, he just looks at you.
Okay, be careful, priest. What the hell has happened here?
Garvan, do you remove your hand?
Yep.
He looks at you and he says, I am not a priest. I am the High Curate.
I do not care who you are. What I do care is the information you possess. Now you shall answer to us, or you will wish you will end up on those walls right there.
You fools. When Lord Caelren hears what you have done, you will all be put to the cross.
Now I persuade him aggressively.
Lord Caelren sent us here
He looks
because
at you.
he thinks
He looks at you.
you might be a traitor.
He looks at you puzzling, right? He looks at you puzzling. Everybody give me a perception. Jamie, you're the only one that noticed, but I assume you will share it with the rest. You see quickly and ever so faintly that same shimmer in the eyes that you saw with the Nozmer leader. And when you explain it, the oracle, it seems to be the same one as you saw in Caelren in your vision. And while you're doing that, the High Curate says, he kind of gets lost in his mind for a second, right? That's when the shimmer happens, and then he tells you the following: no, he did not.
Who are you?
This is going to be dirty.
The real Kevin has now start speaking. Nozmer.
Nozmer?
Oh no, he's not a nose. He's not a nose. No.
We do not belong to that clan.
So what are you, foul creature?
He speaks in his voice. I am the High Curate. I am the loyal and faithful servant of Lord Caelren. I am the harbinger of the end times. A voice that shouts and proclaims the arrival of the gods.
The gods. There is only but one god.
The time of the false god is coming to an end. They are returning to take their rightful place once more. We shall all serve as we did, as is right and just, and the faithful will be rewarded, and the traitors will be cast out.
This is no creature from our plane. We are speaking to something else.
Who are these gods you are speaking of?
The true and rightful rulers of this world. The Draconic gods.
I'm hysterical laughing.
He's almost as if in a trance, right? The gods will return, and the greatest of them all, Morterius, the god.
Oh yes.
Do you know what's really funny? Your so-called gods are not gods at all, they're just creatures that can be killed. Voidbreakers have done it.
Infidel! Fool! The Voidbreakers serve the will of Morterius. And the Lord Caelren served the gods even before he realized it. He suddenly stops, and his eyes are kinda going at the back of his head.
Yeah.
And he the head kind of cracks and moves a little bit to the side. Garvin, give me a physical contest.
With inhuman strength, the High Curate tosses Garvin to the side and then speaks in a voice not his own. "Kill this vessel. It will change nothing." Realizing that the High Curate is much more valuable to them alive, Oracle decides to perform the exorcism ritual, hoping to banish whatever evil spirit possesses the High Curate. The rest of the adventurers grab hold of the High Curate, preventing him from disrupting the ritual. Once the ritual is complete, the spirit is exorcised, and the High Curate regains control over his body. At first he is dazed, unsure of what exactly is happening, but then the memories of the atrocities that he committed while being controlled by the spirit come rushing all at once, overwhelming the High Curate. Through tears, the High Curate asks the adventurers to stay the night in his mansion and tells them that they shall speak in the morning. Tomorrow morning, once they had breakfast, the High Curate finally speaks.
In addition to remembering my atrocities, I had glimpses of what the creature that was possessing me thought. There are many spirits like it. They do not belong to our realm. They worship the dragon gods, and they are their heralds, doing what is necessary and preparing the material realm for their return. Caelren is controlled by a particularly powerful such spirit. The rest of the spirits believe that this is the spirit of Mortarius, the Draconic god of death. You will not be able to kill Caelren, and even if somehow you manage to do so, the spirit will only find another strong vessel like Caelren. There was a specific instance where Caelren spoke to me, to the spirit inhabiting me, whatever you want to call it. They were discussing Caelren's bond to all the other void breakers. Apparently, when one is induced into the Voidbreaker Guild, they go through some sort of a blood ritual where they leave their bloody handprints on a tablet. This spirit that claims to be Mortarius, the Draconic god of death, is able to utilize this blood ritual to its advantage. If you fight him, it will be able to siphon the life force of the other void breakers. By fighting Caelren, you will kill all other void breakers.
You know maybe how the Caelren got that spirit or something. When did the connection start?
When he returned, shortly after I returned, he came to town seeking aid to help the forces of Hammerdeep defend themselves against the Nozmer siege. I took him aside. It is then that it began. The spirit that it was inhabiting me started slowly influencing him and changing him to become a more accepting vessel. Caelren did something. He did something in his past which left a wound on his body and on his spirit, like a door that was never properly closed, through which these types of spirits can enter if they are powerful enough. This spirit that now inhabits Caelren exploited this and was able to get a hold of him.
Our brave heroes continue discussing these unsettling news with the High Curate. They think of a few ideas on how to deal with Caelren, but none of them seem definitive or feasible, thus they are unable to agree on how to proceed. They digress a bit from this and inquire about the history of this island. The High Curate admits that he knew that this was dwarven land before the Dragonkin came some 40 years ago. He is adamant, however, that the temple in Rezax was not desecrated by him, but by his predecessor. The adventurers then inquire about the city dungeons and the Mage Guild of Rezax. The High Curate explains that they are empty. All those that opposed Lord Caldron were put to the cross. Finally, they ask how he himself got possessed. The High Curate explains that the aspirants performed the ritual while he was captured before the fake rescue. He tried to resist it, and the spirit, but he failed. With this, our heroes decided that they have heard enough. They agree with the High Curate that they need more information. Knowledge is power, and they will need all the knowledge they can gather on this spirit that now possesses Caldron if they hope to face it and live to tell the tale. The High Curate tells them that the only way that he can think of acquiring this information would be the aspirants' headquarters. These headquarters are actually on a tiny and isolated island northeast from Resix. He knows the general location of the headquarters as he was taken there by the aspirants for the ritual that got him possessed in the first place. Even though the group agrees that this would be the best course of action, Bolin is extremely displeased as he fully realizes that this will mean the end of Hammerdeep. Eventually, with a heavy heart, he agrees and goes to the marketplace to get some equipment. He visits the local dwarven merchants, only to find them nailed to crosses. He takes their bodies down, vowing revenge, and takes a set of armor suitable for a dwarf. When Bolin returns to the group, they start getting ready to leave.
You gather 20 rations, Bolin gets his backpack, and you head on to a boat together with the goblins who are now fully equipped. You start rowing in the direction of northeast. After a while, you've been rowing for the entire day. Night falls, you're just kind of, everybody's sleeping in the boat. You're not really paying too much attention because who the hell is gonna ambush you in the water, right? And then suddenly you all just kind of wake up, right? Suddenly at the same time, and you're surrounded by this thick fog. You can't really see through it. And you're just kind of looking puzzled and in bewilderment. You know you're in the boat, right? But you don't actually see anybody else. You know that there are people around you, but the fog is so thick you don't even see your companions. You kind of shout. You hear each other's voices. The four of you actually speak. You call out for the High Curate and for the goblins, but they do not respond.
Jimmy, can you do dispel magic?
Magical eye, maybe.
What about the heightened senses?
You could try that, yes.
Yeah, let's do that one.
Somewhere in the distance, you hear a sound as if a hammer is hitting an anvil. The sounds of smithing.
Okay, I share that I heard the same thing back in Resix.
I heard it too.
What?
Not
Wait.
What? What's going on?
Well, what's happened? Where did you... What?
I heard it when I was praying and meditating while you guys were in the towers.
All the way back in the
I heard it.
Nozmer camp.
Yeah.
A hammer hitting an anvil, the sounds of smithing.
Yes.
So is that a destiny? We should have been, like, we are in the good place, yeah?
Maybe.
Well, guys, wish me luck.
Garland gets out of the boat and he starts walking forward, and you soon lose him in the fog.
No, I get out as well. I'm going as well.
We're all going.
I'm gonna just Garvin, wait, and I'm gonna just grab his back.
Wait, do I hear it? Do I hear it?
Yes, you hear everything as you see what Garvin's doing, right? And that you're gonna lose him in the fog. You all quickly get out of the boat and go towards him, and as you're moving forward, right, the fog clears.
So the four of us, the three goblins and a high curate.
No, the four.
No,
Oh, they're not
that's
here.
four of us.
No.
No, they are.
You did not hear their
Okay.
voices when you were out calling for them.
Yeah.
Is there any stones?
There are small stones, but then as you look forward, there's like a whole mountain in front of you. So you start going forward, and then after a while, you all hear the sounds of smithing.
Can you just tell me, is it a beautiful mountain?
It looks glorious.
Oh my god, it's beautiful.
Okay.
Bolin and Garvin, the sound is the same as you heard in your contemplations. Once you hear the sound, you are no longer worried.
What type of a stone is it? Marble?
You would have
limestone?
to come closer, right? It is still somewhere in the distance.
I'm going closer.
Let's
Yeah,
all go
okay,
closer.
You
Let's go, guys.
you start
Are-
going closer towards the mountain, and after a few dozen steps, you suddenly find yourself in front of the mountain. Although just a few seconds ago it seemed like it was miles away.
Oh.
Sorry,
What?
kilometers away.
I have two more questions.
Yes.
First, what time of the day is? And second is, how does the fauna and flora look like? Is it like, birds are chirping, it's all happy and flowery, or is it like, silent?
It is completely silent. You do not hear any sounds of animals around you. You just hear that sound of a hammer hitting the anvil. Or an object that is on an anvil. It's just rock, there are no plants.
We were supposed to.
And you do not actually see the sun anywhere. But it is light around you.
Are we even on the material realm?
God,
That is a good question.
We do not know. Let's follow the.
No, you're there. You're in front of the mountain, right? There is kind of like a makeshift path, like a trail going around, winding around the
I
mountain.
follow it.
And you follow the trail, and soon enough you find yourself in front of a stone door. And the sound of smithing comes from the inside. There is literally a stone wall inside the mountain, and the mountain perfectly envelops the stone
is there
wall.
any rune?
There are no runes. There is a handle that can be, you assume, pulled or pushed.
I'm
How
gonna
big
just
are the
pull
doors?
on it.
How big are the doors?
The doors are massive. Like,
Does it resemble any sort of a dwarven architecture by build, or
you're not too sure. It's not too dissimilar to what dwarves would build, but it's like it's more.
I
The doors are
open the door and go in.
extremely massive, like built for huge creatures, way bigger
Awesome.
than what you would need.
Guys, help.
Overcompensation.
Yeah, we open the door.
You push the door, and the doors are warm, even though it's stone. They are warm to the touch, even though you have gloves and armor right on you, which is weird. And they give, like you push the massive stone doors
Easy.
without any effort. Inside, you see a dwarf hammering at an anvil in front of a forge that is built within the mountain. The dwarf is taller than what you would usually expect from a dwarf, and seems like he's more sturdily built than, if such thing is possible, than your standard average dwarf that you saw in your lives. And he is whistling some sort of a tune, and as he is hammering whatever he is doing, he just says,
Aye, laddie, your parts are still not ready. I thought your kind was never early. You were always precisely on time when needed. But my little realm is always open to those such as yourself. Come in, come in.
and he just, he continues on just smithing, right? Not even turning towards you, not even looking.
does he resemble to the potential size of a dwarf that we would be able to connect to the skeletons found in Hammerdeep?
Oh, the larger ones. Yes, he does.
So he's an ancient
What?
dwarf then.
And guys, we are not at the headquarters.
Doesn't look like
That's why we didn't hear goblins and
And yeah.
accurate.
Okay.
You see that there is a table to the side, chairs, all made out of stone, all, beautifully crafted, massive.
as one would expect, yes. Good day, my brother.
He, as soon as you say that, he stops. And he turns around, he sees you, and you can see that he is puzzled.
He wasn't expecting us.
Oh no. He puts his hammer on the side and steps away from the anvil. And he is hammering some sort of metal that is unknown to you, but the metal is so shiny and glowing that you can't really look directly towards it. You look, near it, and it shines a light which even engulfs the entire room. After a few moments, you can see a smile on his face, and he points with his hand towards the table, and he says, "Aye, travelers, I wasn't expecting you. Sit down. How can this old dwarf help you?"
Well, first of all, we did not expect you, and how are you, a dwarf?
Table, I just
We
like
you
without
look like a
effort.
giant.
Yeah, you're.
No, he looks closer to the height of what a human would be. Just, the dwarven body, dwarven proportions.
You're way different dwarf than we are used to.
You see, brother, this is how we now look these days.
He looks at you and he says, "I know, my son. It is not your fault. Sit down."
As I sit, I just put my pouch with the broken shield on the table. Clank!
Oh, seems to me you have something that needs fixing. Let me take a look. You hand him over the bag.
And the broken pieces, a tear comes down my eye.
He opens it and he looks at the shield and he says, he goes through the metal with his hand. Quality dwarven steel. Oof, what is this? And then he's looking and not good. He takes the shards. He takes the metal piece with his hands, which you only assume is insanely hot, but he doesn't mind, and he just moves it on the side. You still can't look at the object. He puts the shield, the broken pieces of the shield on the anvil. Then you notice that the anvil is very big. The hammer looks nothing like any of the hammer that you've seen. It looks like it's built with a combination of gold and some glowing metal. And he starts hammering at the shield. He turns his back towards you, right, and he continues on hammering and just whistles the strange tune that he did before and tells you, "Do not worry, my son. This will take but a moment."
It was a gift from a dear friend, and it got destroyed by a powerful higher demon, a fallen angel himself.
Ah, yes, I can see the marks. I can see that it was smashed by one of the fallen ones.
Aye, but the glory of the one, we survived the encounter, and once again we will cross paths with the great evil end.
All glory to the one true God. You are graced to be alive, my son.
Okay, one thing, why do you call him a son? Usually my brother is the common thing among dwarves.
I call him my son, and then he continues on hammering, right? Because that is exactly what he is.
Wait, you want to say you're Saint Mordal?
I am Mordal.
Oh shit!
Mic dropped.
I do not use that word saint. I am but a humble servant of the one true God.
I don't know if you know the happenings of the mortal world now, but to us, you are a saint. You are the first who spread the word of the one among our world.
We try to live by your word.
I know,
we
my
fail
son.
to do so, but we try.
I know, my son. That is the natural part of life. We try, we fail, we pick ourselves up, we reforge our will, and we continue
But we never
on.
give up.
Exactly. As long as we live, there is always hope.
That's why we need to survive what is in front of us.
I can see that you are weary and tired and that you have questions. Why don't you have something to drink, something to eat? And as he says that, in front of you suddenly there are plates, there are cups with some sort of a liquid inside, and inside the plates there is something that looks like snow.
I'm gonna start eating.
You take
Yes.
it, Jametysta takes it in her hand. It's not cold. It looks
ice cream.
similar to snow, but it's not. You start eating it, and it tastes wonderful. It's like all the tastes combined into one and filling you from the inside. It's something unexplainable. No, it's not cold. It's not sweet. It's undescribable.
It's perfect.
Everything.
It's like
It's exactly what you
Feeling-
need in exactly every single moment.
Feeling a mind and soul.
Yeah.
I
Now
take some
the-
as well.
You restore 3 sanity points just by eating this.
Oh my.
You take the liquid, you drink from the liquid, and as you're drinking it, it has the taste of the purest water like that you've ever tasted. And as it's going down your throats, you feel emboldened, stronger, more certain in your actions. It's like it erases doubt from your minds.
That's what we need. It's exactly what we need. Well, the will of the one brought us here because we needed that.
Hey, it would seem so. He puts the object that he was hammering into some sort of a liquid. It's not water because when he submerges the object, no steam appears, from the liquid. And when he takes the object out, he brings it back to you, Bolin, and it's a completely reforged steel shield, as perfect as it was before, with a single difference. It has the mark of Murdael at the back of the shield, where you would put your hand in order to strap it.
Oh, nice.
I start crying. Right? I can.
Congratulations,
No,
you
look,
have an artifact now.
no. Look, this is not my shield, right? I borrowed this shield. I intend to give it back. I know I was refused to give it back, but this is not mine, right? For me, this is like my brother's. But it doesn't get better than this, right? Just remember what we encountered so far. All of our beliefs are especially now, even as me as a dwarf with Sandmore, like you'll be thinking like, yeah, he might, it's just like, a myth. Like, fuck, it's not. It's a fucking legend, obviously, right? So, like, there's so many emotion in Bolin now that he can't even speak, he can only cry. And it's happy tears, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean exactly. And as Murdael is looking at you, he puts his hand on your shoulder, Bolin, and he says, I know, my son, it is all right. It's fine. Now
I'm overwhelmed, yeah.
You take good care of the shield, and trust me when I say it will serve you well.
I fucking believe it. There is
It is never gonna break again.
Yeah.
like zero doubt there.
When next time you face such a foe, you will be ready.
Is there anything you could do about my armor? It was made by foul hands.
Yes. I can sense that it was made by those who shed innocent blood. And then as he looks there, he for the first time you see that the smile on his face is gone. And he kinda looks down on the ground as if he's remembering of something. And after a while he looks back at you and he says, by the ones from my past, by my greatest failure, my sins.
What do you mean?
The humans that made this armor, they were rescued by me and my fellows eons ago. They were captives. They were slaves, enslaved by elves. We brought most of the humans back into our lands, as was instructed and commanded to me by our father. However, there was a certain group, a certain tribe of humans who refused to leave those lands, who were overcome by hatred for their former masters. I tried pleading with them, I prayed for them, and in the end they would not follow, so I left. I left them there, and sadly things did not go well for them. Instead of letting go of their hatred and embracing mercy, they doubled down
on their anger, fury. This brought the attention of spirits of ancient beings, enemies of all creation. They colluded with these spirits, embraced their foul gifts. And after the Draconic shattered the seals, these spirits found a way back. They are my greatest failure, the sins of my past that I cannot forgive myself. Had I done things differently, prayed more earnestly, talked to them, had I not given up on them, maybe things on your realm would have been different.
You can never know that.
You saved so many.
Something else would have happened then. It's just what fate is.
Maybe, but there is always that nagging question of what if.
Aye, but you cannot expect one mortal to save all.
True, my son, but you, best of all, should know what it is to be chosen, to be privy to certain knowledge, to be privy to the grace of the One. And this is a blessing and a burden that one must carry. Much will be asked of you, my son. There are many more things that you will have to do, things that will not come easy, things that will go against your very nature, things that you will not even understand. But know that you must follow the way. The One has chosen you, not because you are more worthy, but because you can show the way to others and bring others to His fold. It is a great responsibility. And if you shriek from it, others will suffer. Remember my words, son. Remember when it becomes truly difficult. For it will be. Fighting demons, fallen angels, monsters and beasts may seem difficult to some, but trust me when I tell you this, my son, that is not the difficult part of living. The difficult part of living is understanding what the One wants, understanding that you have to go against your own very nature and be willing to do so for His glory and for the greater good, not of you, but of everyone else. The One could make this right in a more aggressive and immediate way, but those are not His ways. I know that it is difficult for you to even comprehend this, but He has love for all of His children, even those who strayed away.
I just turned to Arkald, and I'm gonna say, check about the ruins with him.
What?
Oh, that's what you have in your book. He might know, have a knowledge about it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but that's later.
Yeah, Oracle is completely mesmerized by his words.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we're all shocked. Obviously, we're talking, right? So we share absolutely all of our knowledge about. I mean, I assume
Everything.
Jamie throws in her Baal part, right?
Well, of course, we are saying about them bringing the false gods.
How would we cleanse Kelran, and how do we re-establish the seals to recapture those evil spirits?
Re-establishing the seals is beyond the power of mortals, I'm afraid. When the time comes, the seals will be re-established. It has been prophesied, and I have seen it by the One and those closest to Him. There are designated angels. When the time is right, it will be done. However, the time is not right. You exist in a shattered reality. The Draconic broke the material realm. Only when everything is once more whole can the healing of this world and the material realm begin. And to achieve this, my son, sacrifices will have to be made by you and by others. It will be many years, decades, centuries before this is achieved. But it will be achieved. Pertaining to your elven friend, seems to me like he had a hand in bringing all of this upon himself. However, I am a strong believer in second, third, and even fourth chances. I do not believe that you should leave him to suffer. You need to find a way to separate him from the Nephilim spirit that controls his body.
I release a really deep sigh, right?
Yes, we both do it at the same time.
I don't even know what an Nephilim is. I mean, Garvan doesn't know.
Can you bless us with the knowledge of how to do so?
No, my son. There are things that I do not know, but of this I am certain. Everything that is happening for a reason, and you were meant to be here. I am pretty certain that the knowledge that you seek, you will acquire when the time is right. So long as you stay on the path, and so long as you are willing to do what needs to be done.
Even if that means sacrificing our loved ones and the ones that we care.
Even if that means sacrificing yourself. The world will not be rebuilt by sword and violence. The world will be rebuilt by mercy and grace.
We are not ready for that yet. That is
No,
the
unfortunately, in a fallen state of existence where you belong, where sin is rampant and all manners of vile evils and unspeakable horrors exist. No, it is still not ready. And the grace and mercy that I speak of will not be achieved by mortal hands. When the time is right, it will be achieved. And the world and all mortals will be redeemed. Before that happens, it is up to us and to you, my son and my friends, to make the way ready and to prepare for the coming time of grace.
Praise be the one. And I grab another drink of that beautiful water.
Yeah. Odd one thing I do want to ask.
About my armor or not?
I think this will suit you better. And he goes and opens another door that is within the mountain, and comes back with something that looks like a dwarven set of armor. You can clearly see that its measurements are slightly off for you, and he says, "A moment, my friend." And he turns around and he hammers it, and in a few moments he somehow has readjusted the size to fit you perfectly.
Nice.
Without taking any previous measures of your body.
Yeah.
Thank you, but the
Custom
man was
made.
like, change a bit of my...
There is no way for me to adjust this foul metal. And he takes his samurai and he smashes the piece of armor. And as he does it, the armor just crumbles into dust. Like
What?
the laws of physics have been violated in front of your eyes, and the metal has just crumbled into dust. And he does that with the rest of the armor parts.
Can I ask you a question, Father, if you do not mind my bluntness?
He gives a chuckle and he says something that my line is well known for. Tell me, my son.
Who were you expecting to arrive instead of us?
As you say those words, you hear a knock on the door. I am sorry, my friend, I am not yet finished. I was busy with some other matters, but you are more than welcome to enter. You see an angel enter. And now you realize why the door is so massive, you know?
Wait, another one.
You see an angel and it looks glorious, right? It looks even more glorious than Tehilael and your guardian angels. It has more exquisite armor on it.
What?
It has 4 wings, like Uriel, so it means it's an archangel.
An archangel.
I fall down on the floor. I'm humbled.
All kneel
Kneel,
immediately.
yeah.
He sees you kneeling and he raises his hand immediately and he says, "Be not afraid. Do not kneel in front of me, little brothers. Only our Father is worthy of worship and praise." He walks past you and And you can see that a piece of his pauldron is missing. Aye, Gabriel, a moment, if you will.
I need to speak with this one.
I know you need to speak with me, Oracle.
I'm just sitting behind the table and drinking and just looking at what's happening.
He extends his hand towards you, Bolin, and he says, "May I have a look at that shield?"
Yeah, of course.
Kind of point the shield towards him. He just extends his hand, and the shield lifts into air from your hands and goes to his hand. Blessings of the One upon this shield, may it serve you well, and when the time comes, may it summon aid and give you hope. And the shield kind of just glows, just faintly for a moment, right? And then he just returns the shield back to you. Upon inspecting it, it just looks as it did. He goes from you and he goes to Jametysta. How are you, little sister? Are you keeping Raguel's staff safe?
I am. I'm trying. Sometimes I'm dying, and I make the pact with Bolin to. Doesn't matter what happens to me, they have to keep this stuff safe.
He taps you gently on the shoulder and he says, "Worry not, this heavy burden will soon be lifted from you."
Thank you for those warm words. So are we gonna fight together eventually, yes?
The war between angels and our fallen brothers rages on. We
Yes.
must remain ever vigilant.
We met one recently, as you probably know.
I've heard of it. Before all of this is over, you will meet him again. You will fight with him again, and this time you will prevail. A lot has been given to you, but
Yes.
to those who receive a lot, much is asked for in return.
Yes.
For you to be ready for your coming challenge. Like the steel that my little brother is now forging, you too have to be forged in fire. Only then will your resolve be strong enough that you will be able to resist the power of the fallen ones.
How do you achieve that? Because that is something I personally have failed. Out of all my teachings and everything I know, when it came to facing, I couldn't. And I feel ashamed for it.
Brother, that is only normal for you mortals. Your lives are brief moments, and then they are gone. You fall and you stumble, but that is not life. Life is when you pick yourself up. Despite all your hardships, despite all your failings, when you trust in the One, in our Father, and yourselves, you will be capable of so many great things. If you had faith at the size of a little seed, you would tell mountains to move, and the mountains would move only by being forged in fire. In the crucible of failure, can you rise from those failures? Can you rise above yourself, above your fallen nature? Do not take it too hard on yourself, little brother. It does not matter how you fell. It only matters how you pick yourself up and how do you proceed after.
By making things better, I suppose.
Exactly. The One asks that you bring his domain to the material realm to begin and help in the process of healing. And the way for you to achieve this is through your deeds, through your actions. Even the deeds of the weakest of mortals. If the deeds are holy, they bring about the kingdom of heaven.
Some deep shit here, right?
Yeah.
Like I in my head, right? not out loud, obviously.
That was beautiful motivational speech.
Yeah,
I'm only writing it down, like...
That's Gabriel for you, you know? You are clearly more experienced than we ever will be, right? You know, so like for us not to take in your advice it would be plainly stupid.
Do
Like,
not underestimate the value that has been placed on you and how much love our Father has for each one of you. Do not be harsh and do not be hard on yourself. You cannot compare yourself to us. Do you even understand that the concept of space and time does not exist? It is only when we materialize on the material realm that we have to bind ourselves to the material laws established by our Father. As long as we are not bound by those laws, we possess powers and knowledge beyond your imagination. And the way we acquire new knowledge is something that will never be available to you mortals. For us angels, we merely have to think of something, and intuitively we understand it. This is how we know every single mortal language in existence, every single language that has existed and will exist.
Brother, since you have that knowledge, we discover some runes.
I'm showing.
The runes that you are showing me are binding rules that belong to the Nephilim, the offspring of the Watchers, some of my fallen brothers who had forsaken their duties, who were sent to the material realm after the fall to guard mortals. Instead, they committed the grievous sins against creation and our Father. I cannot even speak of the atrocities they committed. All I will say about them is that they were duly punished, and that their offspring, the Nephilim, was punished. Unfortunately for you, you have brought a great curse upon yourselves and your realm with the Draconic.
So this rune, right, was created to bind this evil Nephilim spirit to a...
These runes served as a beacon, amplifying the power that allows them to transcend from their prison back into the material realm.
If we were to destroy these runes where they were casted, we would diminish their presence and strength on the material plane?
Yes, but I believe that those runes have already served their purpose. The Nephilim are back because the mortals willed it so. Mortals have free will, and our Father, who is not a tyrant, respects it. But he will not abandon you in your time of need. Have faith, and all will be revealed. He loves each and every one of you. Not a single hair from your head will be lost without him knowing it.
This is something that we mortals have forgot. Is all of your words, all of your teachings right now. This is something we must bring back to our mortal brothers and sisters. This is the message we have to spread.
Indeed, little brother. This is why you have such a need to write all of this. The spark that drives you was a gift. You understand better than others that written word can bring much hope to the world.
We cannot write all of those words if we do not live first and survive.
You believe, Oracle, that the One has given you this yearning for truth, and that he would allow that yearning to be unfulfilled and crushed. Verily I say unto thee, have faith, and all that you wish to achieve that is bound to matters of holiness, you will achieve before your time. Mordal stops hammering, and he turns towards Gabriel and he says, "Aye, laddie, it is done." And Gabriel just points his hand, and the piece of the pauldron that was missing just slowly comes and embeds itself into the armor, almost as if embedding into his very being.
Can you bless us before we go?
He raises his hand and he says, "Accept the blessings of the One and the Angelical Council. In your time of need, you will not stand alone. My duty here is done." And he leaves. Mordell says, Hey, it's always a pleasure to hear one of the High Ones speak. As you're kind of gathering your thoughts, Dal looks at Bol and he says, "Do not worry, my son. Stay true to the path. And when your time comes, you will meet me again. I need good helping hands. I have been busy of late. It is not that the angelical smiths do a worse job than me, quite the contrary. But you see, there is something when I help in the reforging process of their pieces of armor. It makes their materializing easier on the material realm. As far as I understood it, when a mortal hand helps in the reforging process, their essence is not so destructive on the material realm. And make no mistake, the armors that they use and the weapons they wield are all part of them. They were granted to them by our Father and became a part of their purpose. And angels, kinda like us mortals, are nothing without their purpose. With that, you say your farewells.
I'm hugging him. Like a son would hug his father.
He obviously hugs you back and he says, there, my son. It's all right. Everything will be fine. You leave from this place, and as you leave through the massive front gate, you see that the fog has lifted and the way towards the boat is clear. You start walking towards the boat, and after making a few meters, you suddenly find yourself in front of the boat, even though it seemed as if it was kilometers away.
Before we get into the boat,
Okay.
I get down, right, and I grab just maybe a fist-sized rock from this special sacred place, which I put in my pocket.
You get into the boat and you start rowing, and suddenly sleep overcomes you. The next moment, you just kind of, shake. You wake up, and you find yourself in the middle of the sea. It is morning. You are back in the boat, and the goblins and the high curate are all with you. It is a clear day, clear skies, sunny.
It was all a dream.
No, we all just look at each other like not probably like.
Check if you have a rock.
Bolin checks his pocket. He does not find the rock. But Garvin wears the armor, and Bolin's shield is reforged. You start rowing, and as you're rowing, Jametysta, your banner starts showing signs of activity, and you instantly feel a connection to it, and you know that there are powerful illusions around you, and you can use the power of your banner to dispel them.
Yes.
You focus on the banner, and you dispel the illusions, suddenly revealing a very small island and what seems to be a large, massive fort in the middle of it. And with that, we will end the session. Ending on a much better note than what we did with the last one. It was great having you all playing again. And it's been some time since our last session, and I did really miss it. I hope you've all enjoyed it, as well as our viewers. And we'll see you all next time. Godspeed, adventurers.